Coming up on Mountain News this morning, emotions were high in Frankfort after a bill that impacts trans health care passes in the Senate. And a medical marijuana bill also makes its way through the Senate, unlike similar bills before it.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Friday. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks so much for waking up with us. And it's a rainy start to our Friday. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at that forecast. And Brandon, looking behind you at the radar, yeah, it's coming down out there.
There's my green.
That's your St. Patrick's Day green. No, I'm still gonna pinch you.
No, you're not. I've got green socks on, and I'll prove it to you here in a minute.
Nope, socks don't count.
Yes, it does. All right, let's get into this forecast this morning. It is a bit soggy out there. It's moved in the last hour or so, and it's really coming down in some spots. You see the yellows and the darker greens. That's some heavier pockets of rain. So just be careful out there this morning. Give yourself plenty of time to get back and forth. Temperatures literally fluctuating as we switch to them. So some folks still in the upper 50s there, like Prestonsburg and Pikeville, Clintwood, and Logan in the mid-50s, but you see getting closer to 50 the further west you go, and Jonesville and Grundy are in the 40s this morning. Could be eventually be in the 30s, so a little extra on your coffee meter. Again, it was very mild when I walked out the door this morning, but now starting to get a little bit cooler. Out the door forecast, be ready for the rain gear. You're going to need that throughout the day, off and on at least. Scattered chances for rain. We'll top out again around 55. Like I said, it's an early high today, and then we'll start to drop in the afternoon hours, maybe into the 40s by tonight. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Thursday was an emotional day in Frankfort as lawmakers worked to pass bills before the midnight deadline. One of those bills was Senate Bill 150. It was passed by the Senate last night after some changes were made to it. The House amended it to include language House Bill 470, adding language that deals with restricting gender-affirming medical treatments. The passing of the bill led to tense discussions on and off the Senate floor.
This is absolute, willful, intentional hate for a small group of people that are the weakest and the most vulnerable among us.
I find it so hypocritical that people are condemning us for this legislation, but can turn a blind eye to 50 years of Roe versus Wade that killed 63 million innocent babies. So don't lecture me about caring for children when you will openly support the murder of innocent children.
The ACLU released a statement minutes after the Senate passed the bill saying, quote, legislatures cannot erase transgender people from existence, and we will continue to fight for equal rights and equal protection under the law, end quote. The bill now heads to Governor Andy Beshear's desk. And a medical marijuana bill passed the Senate for the first time. Well, several bills on the issue have come up over the years, but have never passed out of Senate committee. Lawmakers passed Senate Bill 47 in a 26-11 vote. Under this bill, users would not be allowed to smoke marijuana, only use edible versions. It would be available to people with qualifying medical conditions like cancer, epilepsy, and PTSD. The bill will still have to pass the House, but it has believed it has enough support there. The primary election is just 2 months away. Many of the Republican candidates are making stops across the state. Kelly Knight Craft visited 4 eastern Kentucky counties yesterday. We were there as she greeted supporters in Letcher County.
What are we going to do today to make the lives of Kentuckians better? I will take that same mentality to Frankfort, and I will be focused on making the lives of every Kentuckian better.
Well, during her visit, she touched on the changes she hopes to make in Kentucky education, the fentanyl crisis, and the need for affordable and safe housing in eastern Kentucky following the flood last year. Bridges and roads are still being repaired in some areas in our region. In the Virgie area of Pike County, a bridge on Kentucky 610 was reopened Wednesday, allowing people in the community to return to their normal commutes. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet District 12 Public Information Officer Shantana Woodward says this is a step in the right direction for the district, but many bridges and roads across the region are still undergoing repairs.
Some of our bridges that we've recently built back, they still have some final steps as far as asphalt and different things that have to be finished up. So you may see some temporary delays while we finish construction on those. Always take your time. Please continue to slow down and watch out for our workers.
Well, she says the original bridge was nearly 100 years old and hopes the new bridge will serve the community just as long. The third SOAR Healthcare Career Pathway Fair was hosted yesterday at the Appalachian Wireless Arena, inviting area businesses and schools to provide guidance to students in the region. Organizers told our Betty Forbes it was all about growing the region's workforce by showing kids there are options in the mountains.
A host of healthcare professionals.
Attending stuff like this really opens your eyes to a whole new world of careers and education.
With their rhythm in sync for the region.
Because they know that even though students are a small percentage of Eastern Kentucky, they're the 100% the future.
The Shaping Our Appalachian Region Healthcare Career Pathway Fair brought students together at the Appalachian Wireless Arena.
Hundreds and hundreds of jobs that students like me and other students didn't even know was possible.
With prizes and presentations, education and hands-on experiences ignited new ideas for some.
I mean, I didn't even know you could go into the health field with social work degree. I didn't even know that, but that's something I would like to pursue.
While fueling budding career goals for others.
My dad got into a little accident, and just seeing the way his team took care of him, and not only him, but welcomed me and my family in the room and always included us, really said that I wanted to go into the healthcare field.
Providing a space of inclusion for ideas and innovation.
I know I have a lot of friends and other peers that don't know exactly what routes they can take.
Preparing for a future of healthcare heroes.
We can't force any student to stay here, but we can definitely provide them the chance to meet people who can give them an education here, can give them the opportunity to grow.
Rooted here at home. In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
SOAR representatives say events like this are only possible because of the partners who are supportive of the blueprint for a better Appalachia, and they are excited to see the region thrive because of collaborations like this. Well, government data shows available childcare is not proportional to the amount of kids across the state, and a new daycare in Harlan County is looking to address that issue head on. Owners say the Smart Start Early Learning Academy has the capacity to hold more than 100 kids, along with dozens of teachers. They are hoping to lighten a burden carried by parents in the region.
So we're hoping that alleviating that burden for the families will also help them to be able to seek new jobs or just have a little bit of comfort knowing their child is taken care of while they're at work.
The daycare does not have a timeline for when it will open, but the owners are hoping for sometime later this month or early April. Well, thank you so much for getting your Friday morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, NOAA releases its climate outlook for the spring season and predicts even more flooding for areas across the U.S.
And the radar looking festive this morning. Still thinking about rain there as we head into St. Patrick's Day holiday. I'll track the rain and let you know what we're expecting for the weekend in about 3 minutes.